Recent footage has emerged showing Caitlin Clark participating in physical activities during her community outreach efforts in Iowa, raising questions about her current injury status. The video clips captured the basketball star engaging with a soccer ball using the leg that was reportedly injured, sparking widespread discussion among fans and observers. The footage originates from Clark's charitable foundation event in Des Moines, Iowa, where she was dedicating newly constructed basketball courts to local youth. This marks the second consecutive year Clark has organized such community initiatives, having previously assisted over 500 children in the area. Similar events have also taken place in Indianapolis, where Clark currently resides during the basketball season. During the community gathering, Clark was observed cutting ribbons, distributing backpacks to children, and participating in various recreational activities. The event showcased her commitment to youth development and community engagement, providing positive role model experiences for local families. The brief video showing Clark's interaction with the soccer ball has generated significant attention, particularly given the current narrative surrounding her physical condition. Medical advice reportedly suggested limiting physical activity, yet the footage appears to contradict these recommendations. Clark addressed the gathering, expressing her appreciation for the opportunity to return to Des Moines and continue these annual charitable efforts. She emphasized the personal significance of the location and her intention to maintain these community connections throughout her career. Meanwhile, team developments continue with new roster additions. Yeah, so Caitlin Clark did this in Indianapolis. Then here's another clip of her out there with the kids shooting around. But this is like the coolest thing ever, man. And I told y'all, don't too many people report on this stuff. Report on her doing things like this, so that's the benefit of it. Chloe Bibby recently joined the squad on a 7-day contract and has already made notable contributions. The Australian player discussed her transition process, citing teammate and coaching staff support as crucial factors in her quick adaptation. Bibby identified jet lag as her primary challenge when joining the team, though she noted receiving 10 hours of sleep recently helped her adjustment. She highlighted her shooting ability and pace as qualities that complement the team's existing system. Concerns have emerged regarding officiating consistency across different games and players. Comparative analysis of foul calls between Clark and other players, particularly rookie Paige Bueckers, has revealed apparent disparities in referee treatment. Video evidence suggests similar physical contact receives different officiating responses depending on the players involved. One particular sequence showed Clark experiencing contact that went uncalled, while comparable situations involving other players resulted in foul calls. Head coach Stephanie White has previously acknowledged the physical challenges Clark faces during games, noting an elevated level of contact that seems specifically directed toward her. White expressed uncertainty about the reasoning behind this treatment, but emphasized the need to help Clark adapt and potentially use this physicality to her advantage. The coaching staff recognizes the overall increase in physical play throughout the league compared to previous seasons. This trend affects game strategy and player development approaches, requiring constant adjustments in preparation and execution. Social media discussions have highlighted these officiating inconsistencies, with fans and analysts questioning why certain players appear to receive more favorable treatment from referees. The debate extends beyond individual calls to broader questions about league priorities and player protection. Statistical analysis of foul calls and physical contact patterns reveals concerning trends that may impact competitive balance. These disparities become particularly notable when considering the different levels of defensive attention various players receive. The ongoing dialogue about officiating standards reflects broader concerns about league development and fan engagement. Consistent application of rules remains essential for maintaining competitive integrity and viewer confidence. That Chloe Bibby has made an instrumental impact already, and she's on a 7-day contract. Now people saying that Damtress is in trouble. I don't think she is. She's not better than Damtress. Guys, don't get fooled with the clickbait. But this is why she had to stay here, man. Clark's community work continues receiving positive recognition, contrasting with some criticisms directed toward other league personalities. Her charitable efforts demonstrate commitment to youth development and positive social impact beyond basketball achievements. The Foundation's basketball court installations provide lasting infrastructure improvements for local communities. These facilities will serve children for years to come, extending the impact far beyond single events or appearances. Documentation of these community initiatives helps showcase the positive influence professional athletes can have on local populations. Such efforts contribute to building stronger connections between sports figures and their supporting communities. Team chemistry and roster management remain ongoing considerations as new players integrate into existing systems. Short-term contracts provide opportunities for evaluation while maintaining competitive depth during challenging periods. International players like Bibi bring different perspectives and skills that can enhance team capabilities. Their successful integration often depends on organizational support and teammate acceptance during transition periods. The balance between individual player treatment and overall league development continues generating discussion among stakeholders. Fair officiating remains fundamental to maintaining competitive credibility and fan investment in outcomes. The recent stalking case involving Caitlin Clark represents a troubling situation that no athlete should face. This incident highlights broader safety concerns within professional women's basketball as Clark joins other players who have experienced similar harassment. The problem extends beyond individual cases and affects multiple athletes across the sport. The WNBA organization provided minimal assistance during this ordeal. Primary responsibility for addressing the threat fell to Pacers Sports and Entertainment, while the league itself remained largely uninvolved. The WNBA Players Association similarly offered little support, leaving Clark to handle much of the situation through private resources. To stop this, to be honest, the WNBA did nothing to stop it. It was all Pacers Sports and Entertainment. And there was a load of I remember there was a lot of really weird things in the WNBA media, when they were like, some were like the bad actors in WNBA media were as good as saying that Caitlin Clark should, the people that demand Caitlin Clark speak on everything, they demanded Caitlin Clark speak on this topic here, certain media figures inappropriately demanded that Clark publicly address the stalking incident. These requests placed additional pressure on someone already dealing with harassment and safety concerns. Such expectations demonstrate poor judgment regarding victim advocacy and appropriate media coverage of sensitive situations. Clark possessed sufficient resources to pursue legal action independently, unlike many other players who might lack similar means. This disparity raises questions about how the league protects athletes with varying financial capabilities. The organization appears to apply inconsistent standards when addressing player safety concerns. And did Caitlin Clark speak on this topic here? And I'm like, this is crazy. This was an absolutely crazy one to try to demand that Caitlin Clark should speak on, getting stalked. And we're obviously not going into crazy detail on this, and the WNBA, the fact is, again, there was all Pacers Sports Entertainment, and it was not the perpetrator received a prison sentence of 2.5 years, which provides some measure of justice. Court proceedings revealed disturbing behavior patterns, including prophecies about world endings and social media posts describing repeated surveillance of Clark's residence. The defendant also received recommendations for mental health treatment during incarceration. This outcome contrasts with another recent case involving player Paige Buechers, where the stalker received only suspended sentencing and probation rather than jail time. The difference in consequences highlights inconsistencies in how courts handle athlete harassment cases. The convicted individual engaged in extremely concerning behavior, including posting about driving past Clark's home multiple times daily. Such actions created legitimate fear and disruption in the victim's life. The prison sentence ensures temporary removal from society while providing Clark some peace of mind. Mental health issues may contribute to stalking behavior, but psychological problems do not excuse criminal actions or justify reduced accountability. Many serious crimes involve individuals with mental health challenges, yet public safety requires appropriate consequences regardless of underlying conditions. Pacers Sports and Entertainment deserves recognition for effectively handling the investigation and working with law enforcement. Their efforts led to successful prosecution and incarceration of the threat. She's getting stopped, and the thing is, Caitlin Clark absolutely has the ability to do that, whereas there's going to be other players in the league that are stalked that don't have the means, and the WNBA clearly picks and chooses, and the same with the WNBPA. They pick and choose who they care about as just human beings, and the league, or the PA and league, don't care about her specifically as a human being. And this was the one situation where you're like, We know it's from bad. But it says here, the management sentence to prison where he belongs. Where he belongs. Resolution assures that Clark likely employed additional private security measures to maintain focus on basketball performance while addressing safety concerns. The 2-year sentence may seem insufficient given the severity of the harassment and potential for escalation. Longer incarceration periods might better protect both the specific victim and society generally. However, any imprisonment represents progress compared to cases where stalkers receive minimal consequences. Unfortunately, similar incidents will likely occur again as professional women's basketball gains popularity and visibility. Belongs. Where he belongs. Resolution assures defenders held accountable for stranding actions, the fear he instilled, and disruption he caused. He will now spend next 2.5 years in the Department of Correction. The victim will be able to have peace of mind while focusing on matters to her. I don't know if that's enough. Lewis, who prophesied during Monday's courtroom proceedings that the end of the world was coming, also was recommended to get mental health treatment. You can't help yourself until you get help. But he was also between cries. 2 prominent young players have faced stalking situations within a single year, suggesting a broader pattern requiring systematic response rather than individual case management. The league must develop comprehensive player safety protocols to address harassment and stalking proactively. Currently, the organization appears more concerned with investigating social media controversies than protecting athletes from genuine physical threats. This priority imbalance needs correction through policy changes and resource allocation. Media personalities who suggested Clark should publicly discuss her stalking experience demonstrated poor professional judgment. Pressuring harassment victims to speak publicly about their trauma serves no legitimate purpose and potentially causes additional harm. Such suggestions reflect misguided approaches to sports journalism and victim advocacy. League leadership should implement dedicated safety departments capable of receiving player reports and coordinating with law enforcement agencies. Such systems need not require enormous financial investment but could significantly improve athlete protection. Estimated costs might involve 3 to 4 employees totaling several $100,000 annually across all teams. It is one of those things that the WNBA very clearly needed to very clearly need to make sure that their players there is something when it comes to the players. There is something when it comes to and these players that they have some protections. Unlike their all-top, player safety should represent a non-negotiable priority independent of collective bargaining negotiations. Basic human security transcends financial discussions and competitive concerns. The league must commit resources to protection services regardless of other budget considerations. Indiana Fever Organization handled this situation effectively by working closely with law enforcement and ensuring successful prosecution. Their approach provides a model for other teams facing similar challenges. They have some protections. Unlike they're all talking about paying players, doing all this thing. It was like, this is, and there has to be something there where if these issues are happening, you can report it, the league can investigate, and the league can see what they would do. Like, would WNBA players probably abuse that? I don't know. I know players probably would. Like, players would probably report people sharing the in-game footage of Kyle Copper yesterday. The franchise's response demonstrated appropriate concern for player welfare and public safety. Some critics inappropriately opposed Clark even during her stalking ordeal, revealing disturbing attitudes about athlete harassment. Such responses ignore basic human decency and suggest problematic perspectives on victim support.